everybody, it's Carrie with From Seed to Spoon. Happy New Year. It is really exciting because now that it is January, it is going to be super busy time getting everything ready to go in the garden. And I wanted to take some time today to talk to you a little bit about how to go about getting started. So maybe your New Year's resolution was to start a garden this year, or to eat healthier, or to get healthier, any of those, and garden fits in perfect with all of those. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about how to get started. So maybe you don't have anything at all set up. You can definitely get started and have something ready to go for your spring garden very soon. So the first step that I'm going to tell you to do is to download the From Seed to Spoon app. I know I might be partial, but I absolutely love it. I use it every day whenever I'm out in the garden. I use it to plan my garden because I go in there and I'm like, okay, so what can I plant soon? What seeds do I need to make sure I have ready? And it'll give me exact planting dates based on my location. So I don't have to do math anymore. I don't have to go try and remember what my frost date is and calculate out 4 to 6 weeks before so I can start my seeds then. Oh, it takes all of the guesswork out of it, makes it so simple, gives me customized planting dates based on my location, pulls from the nearest weather station, which is fantastic. It'll also tell me like what plants are companions with each other, or if I have pest issues, how to handle them organically. And then I can track my seeds as I plant them. When can I expect them to sprout? When can I expect to harvest them? All of that. I love it all. So I just want to make sure you guys get it downloaded so that way you are all set for your gardening season. Okay, now that you have the app and you are all ready to go on that end, the first thing that I want you to do is to find a good location for you. So whenever you're picking out a location for your garden, pay attention to several different factors. So the proximity to your house. So if it is in sight, you're going to be way more likely to take care of it. You'll see a problem before it happens. You'll be way more likely to water it as well. So making sure you have access to hoses or something along those lines so that way you can water easily. And also pay attention to the sunlight. So does it get full sun in that location, or is there shade in the afternoons? So that way you can kind of pay attention and grow things according to what your area needs. So now that you have the location picked out, now is the time to figure out how you want to garden. Do you want to garden in the ground or in a raised bed? Now, there's several factors to consider here, and typically I recommend for beginners to start with raised beds. And something really simple and a really easy way to get started are smart pots, which are fabric raised beds, and you can get them as big or as small as you want. They have little tiny containers which have like handles on them and movable. Then they also have big raised beds that are just like garden beds, very round, like 100-gallon size ones, which are fantastic. I love them. We use them in our garden all the time. They're super heavy duty, and they stand up to a lot of weather. We love them. Our plants always do really well in them. But I typically recommend these for beginners because it's so easy. You can just order them. They're not too expensive. You open them up, put some soil in them, and you're ready to go. So speaking of soil here, I will say what I typically do is make my own soil. I do a method called Mel's Mix, and I got that from Square Foot Gardening book, which is written by Mel Bartholomew. It was a fantastic read. So it was one of our first books that we read. If you guys want to learn a lot about gardening, that is a fantastic book and a great resource for you. I'll link to it down below so that way you guys can check it out if you want to. And some videos too that I've made a lot more about Square Foot Gardening in general, because we've done a lot of Square Foot gardening. But we do the method called Mel's Mix, and it is a 1/3 part of peat moss or coconut coir, 1/3 of vermiculite, and then 1/3 of compost. And I will say, if you don't compost yourself yet, it is perfectly fine. You can go find some really good sourced compost in a local compost facility. A lot of cities have their own compost facilities too. So you can get some really good compost locally too. Now, we make our own because we have a lot of garden beds, and it is a lot more cost effective to do that. But if you're just simply starting out and you are growing small, it might make more sense for you just to go pick up a bag. And a lot of nurseries have really good high quality soil mix that you can just open up, toss into the container that you're going to be growing in, and that'll be good for you. Okay, so now you have your whole garden area set up. Now to decide what to plant. First of all, whenever people are trying to decide what to grow, I always say, so why are you growing? Do you have a health condition that you want to grow certain things for? Are you looking for certain nutrients, or are you just wanting to eat healthier? Are you wanting to just be more active? Just find out a reason why you wanted to garden. And then there's a lot of different things that you can choose depending on that reason alone right there. And in the app, we actually have filters down for different health conditions. So if there is a certain health condition that you're wanting to grow food for, you can look in the app and pull up different health conditions. Like if you want weight loss or diabetes, things like that, you can go through and click those and it'll pull up like what plants it'll recommend for you to be growing for those. And then also, I always recommend start with something simple, something that you will have some success with, because if you are just starting out, you want to make sure that you are successful. You'll be way more likely to continue with it if you are successful. So I typically recommend things like greens, lettuces are super simple. Herbs can be really easy too. Peas, beans, things like that can be pretty easy to grow, and you'll get a pretty good harvest from them. Those are great beginner plants. I mean, really just grow something that you know that you are going to eat, that you want to eat. So if you are somebody that does not like radish, don't grow it. Even though it is something that is super easy, it's always on all the beginner lists. If you aren't going to eat it, don't grow it. There's no reason to if nobody's going to eat it. So I always make sure you grow something that you want, that you are going to eat. And there's also a lot of really fun varieties that are really pretty. There's really pretty flowers, of course, that make really good companions for some of your food that you're going to be growing. And there's a lot of really exciting things that you can grow. So find something that excites you. If you're more passionate about it, you're way more likely to take care of it in the long run. Well, I am super excited for you all to get started gardening this year and follow along with us as we recreate all of our gardens. So we just moved our garden location and we have a complete new setup. So we are building everything from scratch ourselves as well. So make sure you guys follow along. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those. So make sure you guys follow us so you can follow along on our journey as well. And then we're also going to be doing weekly workshops every Tuesday live at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure that you join us and bring any questions that you may have. It doesn't even necessarily have to be related to the workshop that we're talking about that day. After the workshops, I typically try to answer as many of the questions as I can that come in from you guys. So that way we can all get started growing together. We can all chat because other people may have the same questions that you have. So I always want to make sure that we have some time every week for that. And that's always on Tuesday at 12. Hopefully that time works for you all. If not, they're always recorded and posted on our YouTube channel after the fact too. I look forward to seeing pictures of your garden success. I hope that you guys post them, share them, tag us. I would love to see how your gardens turn out. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you later.